Alright guys, so today we're going to take a look at this 1999 Mazda Miata. It's a 10th anniversary edition. So it's blue on blue on blue on blue. But it's got a drivability issue that's actually somewhat common on Miatas. So what we're going to do, we're going to go for a little drive, show you the symptoms, and then we'll tell you what it is and how to fix it. So let's check it out. Now you may notice there's kind of a screeching sound when the clutch goes in and out. I'm not 100% sure if that's the clutch disc itself or the throwout bearing, but either way, a new clutch is on the list, and maybe we'll do a little video about that, see what's wrong with it. There's either rust on the clutch disc or the pressure plate, something, or the throwout bearing, or maybe both. It's hard to tell. But so for now, it seems to drive pretty much okay. But after a little while, they'll start to lose power. Yeah, so it seems okay right now. See how many blocks we can make it this morning. Yeah, you hear that? Pretty sure that's either the clutch or the throwout bearing. Really hoping it's not the trans. Still seems okay so far. Alright, well, we're going to take a gamble and go out on the main road. Oh, okay, I felt a little funny. Idle's starting to feel a little bit rough. See how far we get. Alright, so the idle's starting to get pretty rough now. Yeah, we're really low on power. Starting to surge a little bit. Yeah, I'm flooring it right now. And that's really the big symptom, is it's basically losing horsepower as we go along. And it's been, I don't know, maybe a mile. Probably speed some of this up just to make it a little quicker on the video, but I've gone about a mile, I think, so far. I'm gonna go down to second. I'm gonna floor it in second here. That's all we got. Hear a little backfire there. Another one. make it back to the shop. Yeah, it just stalled out. So you can see there, we were basically slowly losing power as we went along. At first it just kind of feels like you're down a little bit of horsepower, maybe you wouldn't notice, and then it just gets worse and worse until the car actually just stalled at that point. And so what's happening is the fuel tank has a lot of rust in it, because this car sat for a long time. And so what happens when the car sits, it didn't have very much fuel in the tank, and so the fuel will prevent rust. It is a sort of natural lubricant, right? And it will prevent the surface from rusting. But if the tank is very low and the car is not driven for many years, condensation and things will collect inside the tank, and any surface above the level of fuel will not be protected. And so what happens is it builds up rust, and the rust falls down and gets into the pickup for the fuel pump. Oh, perfect time for a helicopter to come by. So anyways, now that we've sat here for a couple minutes, all that rust that's kind of sucked up into the fuel pickup, once the pump turns off, will just sort of float back down to the bottom of the tank. And then as you drive, it kind of shifts around and little pieces get sucked up into the fuel pickup, and it slowly gets more and more clogged. And to be clear, this is the fuel pickup that's inside the tank. It's like a little sock that sits in there, just basically to stop big stuff from getting into the pump and damaging the pump. The actual fuel filter is downstream, and so it's basically isolated from all of this. So now that it's sat for a couple minutes here, that all should have floated back down to the bottom, and it should fire up, and we should be able to drive right back to the shop without a problem. I hope. Look at that. And then you think, well, there's no problem at all. Must have been my imagination. But we've done this 4 or 5 times with this car, and then we opened the tank and we pretty much knew what we would find. We've seen it a couple of times before, just from, you know, cars that they get stored with not a lot of fuel in the tank. And when I say a long time, I mean, I'm talking about probably like at least over 2 years. You know, this doesn't happen during the winter. You know, this is many years of not being driven, maybe 2 to 5. And so it's bad enough you really can't clean out the tank. There's just so much rust in there. You just take the tank out and put in a new tank, then it's all set. So yeah, we're losing power a little bit, but luckily we're almost back to the shop. So yeah, if your Miata drives perfect for a mile or two and then slowly just gets worse and worse, that's probably what's going on. And it could be rust from the tank. It can also be, wow, it stalled again, just coasting in. It could be rust in the tank. That's the most common one that we've seen, but of course it is possible if somehow, you know, if you dumped a can of gas in there that had a bunch of debris, dirt, dust, something in the bottom of the tank or in the bottom of the gas can when you filled it up, that can cause it as well. We have seen that, but usually it's just from sitting and rust. So, all right, guys. Well, hopefully this helps somebody out there. Yeah, please like and subscribe.